So we're doing something today I haven't done in a really long time, and that is we are going to be renovating a yard. We're here, Erik, you can see him on the Thirsty Thursday episode up here, and we've got to figure out something to do to fix this property. So it's a new house here, and what's interesting about this, as far as unique challenges that we have here, number one is going to be the shade. We have a significant amount of shade, and so that is going to create a series of problems in and of itself. But I'll tell you what we went ahead and scheduled to be the remedy of that. Number one, a tree company is going to come in and limb this up. Number two, where we don't get establishment of grass, we're going to go ahead and convert that into a bed instead of trying to force grass into an area where it's obviously not going to grow. The second major challenge that we have to contend with is going to be the slope. Because we have a slope, there's going to be some things we do a little bit different other than just kill the grass, rip it out, and then seed new grass. We'll be a little bit more ginger with it. We're going to be careful about how we leave what's here to hold the seed that we end up putting in place. Number three, in back, we've got a small fish pond, and we want to preserve the fish that are there. And so we're going to have to be careful with our herbicide selection out back to make sure we don't do anything that is going to hurt the fish. So check it out. First things first, we're going to get started by analyzing and quantifying what exact weeds we have growing in the grass. We had to bust out the white New Balances today specifically for this job because of the difficulty of the types of weeds we're going to be killing. Number one, we've got wild violets. Wild violets are a gigantic pain in the rear end to control. They're best controlled in the fall. They're best controlled with an herbicide called triclopyr. Here's the caveat. This time of year, as hot as it is outside, we run the risk of volatilization taking place by using triclopyr. And with the amount of vegetative cover we're getting from this tree, we're not going to be using triclopyr. What we are going to be using is a combination of glyphosate and 3-way. The 3-way contains 2,4-D and dicamba, which are going to have a certain amount of efficacy on this. Hopefully, the synergism between the multiple modes of actions of the herbicides here will give us a greater overall effect. The sum of the parts is great. The total is greater than the sum of the parts kind of deal here. Number two that we have that's difficult to control is going to be this right here. Now this looks like common Bermuda, but it's not common Bermuda. And you want to know the number one way to tell is Bermuda doesn't grow in the shade, and this is in the shade. So what this actually is nimblewill. Nimblewill can be incredibly difficult to control as well. But glyphosate in and of itself, at the rate we chose, should provide adequate control of nimblewill. So looking up through the canopy of this tree, this is entirely too much branch density. There's no amount of light that's going to be able to make it through that would be sufficient and grow in quality turf grass. This needs to be thinned out significantly. Now, how much do you ask? Well, as much as it's safe for the tree. Realistically, we could probably go as much as 40–50% given the density here. Depending on how risky you want to be, 60% would also be possible, but I would say anything over 50% reduction of this canopy, you're putting unnecessary risk on the tree. And we also have some remnants of some paspalum, some Dallas grass. Dallas grass can be very difficult to control too, as with the bull paspalum right here next to it. And so again, the rate glyphosate we've chosen is designed specifically to try and tackle as many of these as possible. What rate did we choose? We're going with 4 ounces per 1,000 square feet of glyphosate. Now that's a relatively aggressive rate. It's not as high as we could go. We could go with up to a 1% solution, but at least for our initial knockdown application here, it's a fantastic start. From this point forward, we're going to give it 3 weeks to let this really set in, and then we're going to make a repeat application to make sure anything that's going to regerminate, we go ahead and tackle. This process of killing, letting regrow, killing again is referred to as fallowing. So the whole premise there is to try and eliminate as much of the seed bank as possible, but also that allows time for them to come in, trim the trees, get us as much light exposure as possible under it, and then we'll figure out where to go from there.
Very good. No.
Thanks everybody for watching part 1. Coming up soon in part 2, we're going to be checking on the results of our initial application, and we're also going to be contending with the fish pond, which is going to be a whole new set of challenges, and so I'm excited to bring that to you on video. If you haven't, check out Burn and Return podcast. We live stream it here for members only on Sunday evenings. It's going to be posted to all your favorite podcast apps, Apple, Spotify, Google, all that fun stuff. Also, on Thursday, we have our live stream, Thirsty Thursday. If you're a member of the community and you would like to be a part of that, feel free to reach out to us at thegrassfactor.tv. Bear with us on the website. We're going to be creating a file page where I share some of the stuff that I work on and do and privately as part of my day job, calculating different herbicide rates and that stuff. We'll be putting that up on the website soon. Also, if you would like to check out a piece of merch, head on over to thegrassfactor.tv and head to the shop and check it out. We got a few custom Thirsty Thursday whiskey glasses left if you're interested in those. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in part 2 coming up soon.
My pickle.